The supervisor stands over Sophia and says angrily, "Hey, hurry up, do your work quietly. I'm telling you, the boss is coming to inspect the place today. If you can't clean properly, I'll fire you." Sophia says tiredly, "I've been working for so long. Please give me a little water." The supervisor throws water in Sophia's face and says mockingly, "You want water, right? Fine, here you go. Now clean this up." Just then the boss arrives and asks angrily, "What are you doing?" The supervisor says nervously, "Boss, I'm telling her to do her work." Sophia says respectfully, "Boss, you're here." The boss asks firmly, "Is this how you teach someone to do their job? Let me ask both of you. Which one of you is Sophia?" Sophia is about to say, "I am," but the supervisor covers Sophia's mouth and says quickly, "Boss, I am." The boss says seriously, "Both of you are named Sophia, and coincidentally, you even have the same last name." Sophia was born in 1992, is from a small village near the city, and graduated from the product design department. "Is that you?" The supervisor says eagerly, Yes, that's me." The boss says suspiciously, "Your name is also Sophia? You're also from a small village near the city, and you also graduated from the product design department, right?" Sophia says respectfully, "Yes, boss." The boss asks firmly, "Then which one of you is the real Sophia?" The supervisor says confidently, "Of course I am, boss. Our company has so many employees, so it's not unusual for two people to have the same name. Besides, among all the highly educated people in our company, I'm the most highly educated, and my husband is also the factory manager at our company." The boss asks in surprise, "Factory manager? So you work here because of your family connections?" The supervisor says confidently, "Exactly." The boss says firmly, "Fine, I'll call the factory manager later. I have my own way of finding out which one of you is the real Sophia. Both of you come to my office." The supervisor threatens Sophia and says angrily, "Wait, I'm telling you, when you go to the boss's office later, know what to say and what not to say. Keep your mouth shut. If you say anything stupid, I'll smash your face. Now get out of here." Sophia says obediently, "Yes, supervisor." After they reach the office, the boss says calmly, "I've already called your husband. He's on his way. You two sit down first." The supervisor says politely, "Yes, boss." Sophia is about to sit down when the supervisor stops her from sitting. The boss asks angrily, "What are you doing?" The supervisor says disrespectfully, "Boss, she's just a cleaner. What if she gets your couch dirty?" The boss says kindly, "Young lady, go ahead and sit on it." Sophia says gratefully, "Thank you, boss." The boss says seriously, "I called both of you here because there's something important I need to discuss. Sophia created our company's new product plan, but I don't know which one of you is the real Sophia." Sophia says confidently, "I created it." The supervisor covers Sophia's mouth and says quickly, "Of course I created it." The boss says calmly, "Fine. This plan is very well designed. Our company's board has decided to give the person who created this plan an additional $100,000 as a bonus to encourage her." The supervisor asks excitedly, $100,000? The boss says firmly, "You just said that you created this plan. I can't simply take your word for it. Let's do this. The company's product sample is right here. Now explain the product's features to me thoroughly without looking at the plan." The supervisor says confidently, "Okay, boss, you have the plan right there. Bring it over and I'll read it to you properly." The boss says firmly, "I said you're not allowed to look at the plan." The supervisor tries to explain the features of the sample, but she cannot explain them clearly or convincingly, so the boss says firmly, "Now the cleaner will explain the features of this sample. You will also explain them without looking." Then the cleaner explains the features of the sample very clearly and accurately. Then the boss says happily to the cleaner, "You really are the one who wrote this plan. Now I finally know who the real Sophia is and who created this sample." Just then the manager arrives and asks respectfully, "Boss, why did you call me here so urgently?" Then, seeing the cleaner, he grabs her by the arm contemptuously and pushes her away. The boss says firmly, "Manager, I called you here to ask you one question. What is your wife's name?" The manager says confidently, "My wife's name is Sophia." The boss asks suspiciously, "Your name is Sophia?" The boss says in confusion, "This is unbelievable. Both of you are named Sophia, and I still can't figure out which one of you created this project." The manager says arrogantly, "My wife is so wealthy and so beautiful. How can you trust this poor cleaner?" The boss says firmly, "I'm not talking about beauty. I'm talking about which one of them is the real Sophia who created this project." The manager says defensively, "Boss, don't you trust my wife? She's the one who created this project." The boss says angrily, "I've seen your wife. I gave her a company sample to read, but your wife couldn't even read it," while this cleaner explained the entire thing so clearly. "You two tried to steal all the hard work of this poor girl. You have no business coming back to my company. Get out of my company right now." The manager says angrily, "You're firing both of us because of this cleaner? What do you even see in her? You were supposed to fire her, not us." The boss says firmly, "I don't need either of you in my company. Only honest people can stay in my company, just like this cleaner." If this story touched your heart, let us know what you would have done in the comments and subscribe for more heartwarming stories.